Can you imagine being able to retire by the time you're 30 years old, or being able to retire in 5 to 10 years or less? Well, think about what that would mean for your family and for the rest of your life. Being able to work if you want, have the peace of mind knowing that you don't need the money. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how it's much easier than you think and how this new trend sweeping the nation is helping thousands reach these goals really quick. And I'm going to give you the 3 steps you need to be able to do the exact same thing. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. My name is Mark Moss. I like to talk about business, investing, success. I mostly talk about investing, which I think is the most important thing. If you don't learn how to put your money to work, you are going to work until the day that you die, and we definitely don't want that. As a matter of fact, in this video, we're going to talk about how to retire in about 5 years, maybe 10 years, but much sooner than you think if you know exactly what you're doing, and it's not that hard. I'm going to show you how. So, how to retire at age 30? Well, if you're already past 30, that's okay. It could be 40, could be 50, could be 45, 50, 55, whatever the age is, it doesn't matter. The point is, in about 5 to 10 years, you could actually retire if you knew exactly what to do. It is doable. Thousands and thousands of people are doing it right now, and I want to show you exactly how to figure that out. Now, in order to kind of get a grasp for this, the first thing we have to understand is that our current model is broken. The old saying of, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, save for retirement, retire at 65, that's broken. It doesn't work. And you have to understand that, because if you understand that that doesn't work, then you're going to be more inclined to go find a new solution. And we know it doesn't work because we have proof. We have lots and lots of proof. Today, the baby boomer generation, which is the largest segment of the population, they are reaching retirement age. As a matter of fact, there's about 10,000 per day that are retiring. Now, they have basically grown up with that model, right? They got good jobs, they saved for retirement, and it didn't work. As a matter of fact, 45% of baby boomers have no retirement savings. Can you believe that? Half of baby boomers have no retirement savings. Now, a lot of it's not their fault. A lot of people got wiped out by the 2002, 2008, 2009 crash, and they weren't able to recover. A lot of retiring has to do with being lucky and being in the right time at the right place. And so a lot of them, it wasn't their fault, but it doesn't change the fact that half of them have no retirement savings. And of the other half that do have some retirement savings, half of them have less than $100,000. Now, $100,000 is not enough to retire off of. I hate to tell you that. As a matter of fact, with $100,000, you're probably going to have about $5,000 a year of income. And I don't know about you, but that's not going to cover very much. So it's not going to be enough. Now, many people dream about retirement, but as I'm showing you, less than half of people are going to be able to do that, right? And really what it comes down to is really like half of Americans have even thought about it. And so like anything in life, it takes some time to think about it, think about your goals, and really make plans to achieve those. And so, in polls, we've seen that less than half of Americans have thought about retirement. And so I'll ask you, have you thought about it? Leave a comment down in the comment below. Have you thought about your retirement and exactly how you get there? Let me know so I can know how to plan more content. But do you even have a target, right? If you don't have a target, how are you going to hit it, right? If you don't have a goal, how do you know when you're going to get there? You don't. And so maybe retirement is more of a dream than a goal, right? A dream is just like one day, hopefully, maybe I'll achieve it. Whereas a goal is something that's like more actionable that you're working towards. And so we want to turn that dream into a goal. And really, I want to show you how you can achieve it in about 5 years. And so there's this new movement that's been sweeping across the country, and maybe you've heard about it. It's called the FIRE movement, FIRE. And it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Like the sound of that? Retire early, definitely. Financial independence, financially free, right? Sounds really good. And this movement's kind of sweeping the country. Lots and lots of stories. You can go ahead and Google it. But it's really aggressive. And basically what they do is they say you need to be aggressive savers, and you need to save 75% of your income so that you can retire early. And there's stories of people doing this. I mean, a lot of them are kind of millennials where they've lived in their parents' basement for 5 years, saved up enough money, and then they live these really, really, really meager lives. And that's one way to do it. I'm definitely not recommending that. That's not my preferred way to do it. I'm going to show you a much easier and a much better way to do that. And this is not anything new. Like I said, this FIRE trend has been kind of sweeping the country. It's been making a lot of news headlines, but I've been talking about building cash flow for a long time. I have several videos. I'll go ahead and link to some up above. And really, my journey down this got started from Robert Kiyosaki, from the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That book is an amazing book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend that you read it. I'm not trying to push it on you, but I definitely recommend that you read it. It changed the course of my life. You know, when you look back at my age anyway, I can look back at all these things in life and I can see how one action has maybe drastically changed the direction of my life. And reading that book is one of them. It changed the way I thought about everything. And what Robert Kiyosaki talks about is the context. And so he talks about cash flow a lot. He talks about the different types of income that you can have. And so Robert Kiyosaki, for me, really started pioneering the cash flow. It changed the way that I've built my investments, my financial life. And like I said, it's something I talk about a lot. But the reality is that retiring is much easier than you think it is. So like I said, this the mantra that you've been taught, the brainwashing that you've been given is just wrong. The go to school, get good grade, get a good job, save for 40, 50 years. Just doesn't work, right? So the reality is it's much easier if you know how to do it. If you have a plan and you can execute on that plan. And I'm going to show you what that is. So most people think, like I said, you have to save your whole life. And then what happens is then you're going to live off that savings. But that's not what you want to do. You don't want to live off your savings. First of all, it takes too long. It's your whole life. Second thing is too many things can go wrong. You can have that 2008, 2009 crash. You may die. You may not live that long. So why wait that long? Why wait for that? So the goal that I'm going to show you is to build cash flow. And that cash flow will become enough to pay all your living expenses, which will make you financially free. And then you can start building additional cash flow to increase your lifestyle from there. And you can achieve this really, really fast. I can show you how to do it in less than 5 years. For some people, 5 years might be too aggressive. 10 years might be more realistic, but even 10 years sounds much better than the 30 or 40 that you normally have to think. And again, like I said, with those FIRE movement people, they're super aggressive and they can achieve it faster. So it really comes down to how fast you want to do this and how well you can work the plan. But the point is you need to have a plan. So I want to give you 3 things that you need to do in order to get this going as soon as possible, all right? So if you have a pen and paper, go ahead and start taking some notes right now. So the first thing that you have to do, number 1, is you have to find your number. What does that mean? What's your number? Well, you need a target, right? So if you don't have a goal, you're going to hit it every time. You need to have a target. And what is that? How much money do you need? So you need to get out a piece of paper. You need to look at all your expenses. What's your rent? What's your car payment? What's your insurance? How much do you spend on food every month? All those things. And then try to come up with 2 numbers. Come up with what is your minimum lifestyle number? What's the minimum amount of money that you could get by with if you absolutely had to? And then what's your ideal lifestyle? So the minimal number is, not buying a lot of new clothes and not going shopping very often, not taking vacations. An ideal lifestyle is something that includes dinners and vacations and things like that. And I like to look at both of those numbers on a monthly and a yearly basis. And so maybe that number for you is $5,000 a month. Maybe that number for you is $15,000 a month. I don't know, but you need to figure out what that number is so you have a target, and that's going to be the very first step. Now, the second step, number 2, is that you need to start building cash flow. So it's like, okay, I have a plan. This is where I want to go. Well, now you have to start going on that plan, on that path, right? Down that trajectory. So you want to start building cash flow. How do you do that? Well, there's a bunch of ways that you can do that. So my main way has been, one of the main ways that I love to build cash flow is through real estate. Now, I know a lot of you guys, your eyes are rolling in the back of your head saying, real estate, I can't do it. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time, etc. I get it, but it doesn't have to be that way. Look at real estate as something that you're doing as an investment, not a job. That means you don't have to invest in your area. You don't need to go change, toilets and unclog sinks and whatnot. There's property managers, all those things like that. So you can buy properties in the Midwest, in the United States, in Missouri and Detroit and Minneapolis and St. Louis and all these areas. You can buy them for $30,000, $40,000. So with little bit of money, you can start buying some real estate and you can start making monthly income. Now, let's say that you don't have even $5,000 to put down on a house. You don't want to deal with property management. You don't want to deal with all that. Well, now there's like these crowdfunding real estate options where you can put as little as $100 down, $1,000 down, $5,000 down into a crowd fund, and you can still make about the same returns as you could by owning a home, except for you don't have all the headaches that come with managing the tenants and repairs and things like that. So real estate is a really good way to get that cash flow coming in, whether you own it yourself or you go through one of these crowdfunding options. I'm not going to give you those right now. Google's your friend, and it can help you find a lot of those. Also, dividend-paying stocks. There's many top-level blue-chip stocks that pay you 6-7% dividends. So you just buy the stock right through your E-Trade account, your Charles Schwab account, whatever it is, and you can make 6-7% on that. That's really good, and it adds up over time. Now, there's other ways that you can do it. Bonds have been traditionally a way to earn income, but the bond market's been pretty bad lately. Private equity loans are pretty good. I do some of that. I do a lot of private equity loans in real estate where I'm not actually owning the real estate. I'm loaning money for real estate, and I make really good returns on that. There's also peer-to-peer lending where you can loan directly to the person who needs it, and there's a bunch of websites that set that up, matchmaking, peer-to-peer lending. The rates are really good. You can make 10%, 12% on your money for doing that. Again, Google is your friend. You can find a bunch of these peer-to-peer lending sites. My favorite is through digital courses. And so I sell digital courses. I put together information and I do it one time, record a bunch of videos, make tools, resources, etc. And then people pay to go through those courses. That works really, really well. And one of my new favorites, which wasn't a favorite earlier, is now my YouTube channel. I turned the monetization on my channel about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's making a couple $1,000s a month right now, which I never really expected it to do that. So a few $1,000 a month for doing these videos, which I was doing for free for 6 months anyway, which is great. If you want to know more about how to do that with YouTube, it's been amazing. Leave me in the comments down below. Make a whole video about that as well. But you need to start building cash flow. That was number 2. And then the third thing is that once you know where you're going, you have the path that you're going down, you want to try and speed it up as fast as you can. So how do you do that? So you have your plan, your number, your goal. How do you get there in 10 years versus 5 years, right? Well, 2 ways. There's 2 different levers. One, you need to keep your expenses as low as possible. And so like I told you, those fire people, they're trying to live off 75% of their income. So they're trying to spend no money, which is one way to do that, right? Skimp and save and all of that. The better way to do that is learn to make more income. All right. So those are the 2 levers, right? Save more or earn more. Maybe do both at the same time. I just don't think trying to skimp and save your way is the best way to do that. So you want to make more money. And you do that by having high value tasks. So I don't know what you do for work, but if you want to make more money, you want to have high paying job skills. And typically those high paying job skills are around something around sales and marketing. You can be a sales rep, you can do online sales, on phone sales, marketing, etc. And those are skills that you can easily learn on the side. You can learn those skills watching YouTube videos, and you can offer those to businesses to make side money. It can become your full-time career and you can make more money. So save money, make more money. And then the third lever is that you need to get better returns. So getting a 3% return on your money, you're going to need a lot more money to retire at 3% than you would at 7%. And so you want to continue to search out better returns, which is why I hunt for real estate in different parts of the country that give me the best returns and stuff like that. So those are the 3 steps. Now, what you want to do, like any good goal, is that, once you've picked the goal, you need to keep track of the goal. So you pick the goal. Here's what I'm going to try and do. I need to get to $3,000 a month of cash flow or $7,000 a month of cash flow. That's my goal. And now I'm tracking the progress. So tell other people about it. Here's my goal. Maybe it's your wife, your spouse, your family. That way you're kind of being held accountable for it. And then you want to track the progress. So every single month I sit down and I go through all my finances. I look at my profit and loss, my cash flows, all of those things. And one thing that I look at every single month is I look at my monthly cash flows. I have a spreadsheet that I use that keeps track of all my income, all my expenses, and tells me what my cash flow is. I'd love to share it with you if you want it. Just I'll put a link in the description. Just go ahead and click on the link and I'll give you my my spreadsheet for free. It's worked really, really well for me for a long time. I know it can work really well for you. So I'd love to give that to you. And I'd love to hear your own your own progress. I'd love to hear your results on starting to stack cash flow and see if it can change your life like it's changed mine. If you like that, if you like the sound of it, give me some thumbs up on this video, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Make sure to turn the bell on so you get notified whenever I turn more videos on. And that's it. To your success. I'm out.